This is going to be by far the most important video that you're going to watch in this course. My name is Gary Lamb. If you guys don't already know that, we're going to go ahead and drill right into this video. Alright? Every course that I teach you, or every video that I put out, is going to teach you a technique or a tip or a tool or a strategy. But this one here is going to make all those videos pretty much obsolete. Here's why. When you start thinking like a CEO, you're not going to want to become an expert in all those other techniques and strategies. You won't want to be that, because once you start thinking like a CEO, you're going to start to delegate your work to other workers, people that want to get paid to do what they do. They're perfectionists and they do what they do best, and that's whatever it is that you're hiring them for. And once you've learned that you no longer have to be a perfectionist, you no longer have to be the expert, you no longer have to be the quote-unquote guru, once you realize that, your money is going to triple, quadruple, over and over and over again. This is something that we're not taught in school. What we were taught in school is to become the employee, to become the worker, to work for a paycheck, to become a perfectionist, and to become an expert in a particular field. Well, unfortunately, for every one of you, there's thousands and thousands of others that's better and more qualified than you. Take all your degrees right now, throw them out the window. Take all your knowledge, your pre-programming, and throw it out of the window. Everything you've done from this point on has gotten you to this point. And if your point is, if your place, the place you're at is bleak, financially in despair, struggling, not achieving what you wanted to achieve in life, then obviously it's not working for you. I've talked to MBAs who are still paying off their student loans and do not have a job right now because some company felt that it was better to let them go because they was getting paid too much. Never mind they have a mortgage, never mind they have a family, never mind they have all these extra bills that they have to pay, never mind that they played the game perfectly. They followed every single rule, and yet they're losing their homes, they're losing their families, they're losing their sanity because they did what they was told to do and it did not benefit them. We have to change our mindset. So today I say welcome to the CEO mindset. Plan on reaching your goals. Plan on reaching your goals. And the way we're going to do this is, first we have to learn how to deprogram. So let's get into the salt and potatoes of this video. All right, and I put a little list here, and I'm going to, these are just pointers so I can remember what to hit. But first things first is you need to set goals. You need to know what your goals are. And no, being rich is not a goal. I hear this all the time. I want to be rich. I want to be wealthy. I want to... No. That's the result of reaching a goal. If you say, I want a house, that's not a goal. That's the result of the goals that you've set in play. If you say, I want a car, that's not a goal. You know, I want to be financially independent, not a goal. All right? You know what a goal is? Creating a website. That's a goal. Okay? Getting your website done by a certain time or time period. That's a goal. Having that website produce thousands of visitors a day. That's a goal. Having your website produce income, a certain amount of income each and every day. That's a goal. Okay? Things are not goals. Action that leads to a result is a goal. All right? So what we want to do is realize that we don't want to be rich. We want to set goals that's going to get us to that result. But that's not our goal. That's not our goal. So first off, let's figure out what is your goal. Now, most of us, we don't really have goals because we don't really know what the hell a goal is. And I just explained to you what a goal is. So at this point, you're probably saying, well, damn, I don't know what a goal is. You know? So what I did was I put a plan into action for you, or a plan for you, so you can start reaching the goals that you need to reach to ultimately get what you really want. I mean, because that's what we're doing this for. We're not doing this for our health. We want a lot of stuff in life. We want to have a better life. We want to have a better outlook of life. We want to be able to travel more, spend more time with family. We want to be able to go to the mall and just spend money. I mean, whatever your reasoning for being here today, we're going to set up a plan of action for you to get that. All right? So first off, let's start talking about what it is that we need to do to get us into that mindset of being a CEO. First off, we have to understand that all our lives we've been programmed to be workers. I've said this before and I'll say it again. We've been programmed to be workers. Have you ever saw the lifespan or the livelihood of a worker? It is mediocre at best. Why is that? Well, because they only do what is necessary to keep their job. What is necessary to keep their income, what is necessary to keep their homes and their cars. They don't want to go over and beyond. They just want to do enough to get by. Why do you think they go to school and do it and get all those degrees and stuff like that? Because that's what's required. They wouldn't do that if they didn't have to. They just do enough to get by. All right? We need to deprogram ourselves in thinking that way. All right? We have to stop thinking, what is it that I got to do to get by? How can I make this work so I can just, do a little bit, not really too much, and then keep it moving? Because getting a job, well, not today anyway. Today is not easy. But getting a job is fairly easier than becoming a CEO and thinking like one. It really is, because everything that seems like common sense will get you the result of a worker. Common sense say go out there and get a job. Common sense say go get a diploma, go get a college degree. That's what common sense tells you. But common sense also tells you that right now those things are not working because you're looking around the world and you see all these people out of work. They're out of work. And why? It's because, well, all of them, most of these people that's out of work did exactly what they were told when they were younger. Exactly. They played the game like a T. They played it perfectly. And it got them nowhere. So first off, we need to deprogram ourselves and stop thinking like a worker and start thinking like a CEO. Now this may be a lot more difficult than you may think, because everything that you've been taught and everything you've been trained up until this point has conditioned you to be a worker. All right, and you may think because I'm self-employed, or I have a really nice career, or I'm a lawyer this and I have an MBA in this and all this other stuff. But at the end of the day, do you sign your checks or do someone sign your checks? If you say someone's signing my check, then you're a worker. But if you sign your own checks, you're now closer to a CEO than anything else. All right? That's the best way to figure out if you're a worker or if you're a CEO. If you're signing your checks, then you're a CEO. All right? It's now time to start acting like one. But if you're a worker, it's because, well, you're someone else is signing your check. You need to stop that. Hell, if you are if no one's signing your check, you're really in trouble right now, and you need to really, really pay attention. But hopefully, you're not holding on to that working mentality. All right, we need to get rid of that worker mentality. First off, deprogramming yourself. What is it that CEOs do? How do CEOs perform? How do CEOs go about their life? Do CEOs worry about things like, how can I save money here? No, they don't worry about that. You want to know why? Because they have a team that they pay to worry about that stuff for them. Do a CEO worry about how to fix a problem? No, they don't worry about that either. They have a team that they pay to worry about that stuff for them. Does a CEO worry about how production is going to be increased by X amount of points? No, they don't think about that. They have a team that they pay to worry about that. Do you see the pattern here? What a CEO does is create a goal and pay workers to realize that goal. That's what CEOs do. CEOs don't do the work themselves. They say they want production to be up by 60%. And then they put the money into the field and say, make it work, make it happen. And they put that work on a manager or a team leader or whatever. They put that work on them. And then those team leaders and managers now have to put the work on the workers to make it happen. I don't care how you get it done as long as you get it done. That's how a CEO thinks. How does a worker think? A worker thinks, how in the hell are we going to do what this bastard just told us to do? So they go around, start trying to figure it out themselves, trying to figure out how they're going to do it. What is it? What way? What angle? What transition? What do we got to do? Who should we bring in? Who should we get to do this? Who should we hire to make this happen? A CEO does not care about that. CEO is on a golf course, hitting a white little ball hundreds and hundreds of yards away, chasing after the ball while you're sitting there trying to figure out how to do what he wants done. Start thinking like a CEO. Once you start thinking like a CEO, realizing that no longer am I going to be the worker, no longer am I going to be the one that actually put in the labor, no longer am I going to be the one focusing on this, that, and the third. No. I need to release all that work and release all that anguish and animosity and trying to figure it out and building. I got to release that to others so they can do it for me. So I can do what I do best. And that's coming up with goals, coming up with strategies, coming up with better business ideas. That's what I need to focus on. If anything, a CEO does something that he's great at. And that's it. He doesn't worry about all that extra other stuff. He has people, a team of people that are good at all these other things that he's horrible at. And he pays them, he writes a check to them to do what he don't want or can't do. Alright? Deprogramming yourself, stop thinking like a worker. You no longer want to think about like a worker. How does a worker think? Well, the worker thinks on how can I make this work? How can I make this happen? How can I make this be done? How can I get this done? How do I create a website and get it profitable? How do I get that profitable website and maximize its profits? How do I maximize those profits and then make it monetize those profits? That's what a worker does. A worker sits there and focuses on the problem at hand and keeps trying to fix it. And a CEO pays a worker to do it. All right? Here's something that you have to understand when it comes down to deprogramming. Because it may be tough. It took me a while to think deprogram, but this may really help you. Remember this, what I'm about to say. A worker works to get paid. A CEO get paid to pay workers. I'm going to say that again. A worker works to get paid. A CEO pays workers to a CEO gets paid to pay workers. Okay? You do not want to be on the receiving end of a paycheck. You do not. You want to be the one putting this paycheck in circulation. We're not talking about Kobe Bryant. We're talking about we're talking about the Lakers owner, the ones who own the Lakers. All right? We're not talking Oprah Winfrey. We're talking Bill Gates. You hear where I'm coming from? You want to be the one putting the money in circulation. Because if you put the money in circulation, it comes back to you tenfold. All right? So, step 2 is to start acting like a CEO. Now, when you first start out, you're going to have to understand that there are things that you're just going to have to do in order to get things working. Okay? When you're starting out, you really don't know what the program is or the product or the service. You don't really know what works or not because you're just starting out. You have an idea in your head and you want to get that idea out in the public and make it a reality. All right? So at this point, you don't really know what it takes to make something happen. Okay? So I would not recommend a person going out there and just start throwing dollars at something hoping that it works. I say to you, start focusing on on building something that is somewhat profitable and sustainable, and then going out there and pay someone to perfect it, to ramp it up, to make it, to maximize its profits and its potential. Okay, perfection is a setback. When you're when you're acting like a CEO, perfection is a setback. Now I know you're thinking, what the hell is this guy talking about? Perfection is a setback? That can't be true. That's not logical. Exactly, it's not logical. It is not common sense. Common sense will tell you you have to perfect something before you put it out there. That's common sense. But like I said before, early in this video, common sense is not what works when it comes down to business. If that's the case, we would not have a 97% dropout rate. All right? Let's look at a company called Microsoft. You see Microsoft and you look at how profitable they are, how much money they make. They just got it. They had not too long ago an issue with the IRS trying to call them a monopoly. And Bill Gates basically said, look, I cannot stop people from getting into programming like this. However, I have cornered the market, but that's not my fault that no one wants to challenge me. So they tried to get him to do something, all kinds of stuff. I guess they was just fighting, looking for money. But at the end of the day, Bill Gates won that case. So you can see how wealthy Bill Gates is and how profitable Microsoft is simply because of what they are. Most of you are sitting on an operating system that he designed, Windows. But let me ask you something. If you do have a Windows platform on your computer, which comes standard in every PC these days, how many versions have they put out post-release? Now, the reason why this question is so important is because in order to put out another, or the reason to put out another version is because the released product wasn't perfect. Why do you want to perfect something that's already been perfected? That's the problem. It wasn't perfected. There's no product, service, software, anything that has ever been perfected. Every single thing we have out here has defects. Every single thing. Whether it's a lifespan defect or a malfunctioning defect, everything we get has defects. It has an upside and a downside. Nothing is perfect. Nothing. There's a reason for that. If a CEO focused on perfecting something, they will never get the product off the ground floor. They will always be behind the 8 ball. CEOs, big corporations, companies do not make money off of production. They make money off of sales. This is why a company like Microsoft, Ford, Nissan, Greco, that's why companies like these are constantly putting out faulty products. Not because it's just the thing to do, but because they need to reap back their investment. Let's look at the company called company Ford. When Ford put out his first model car, did you see how many problems that car had? It was not perfect at all. It was far from perfect, but he had to put it out because if he didn't, he would have been bankrupt. He had to put it out. He was putting in too many dollars into this damn product. And because he was putting so much money in his product and he wasn't reaping any rewards yet, he had to put it out so he can start maintaining and start going, okay, we can go back and revise this once we put out the product. That's the same way Microsoft does it. Microsoft knows they're putting out a faulty product. They know it. They know their product is not perfected. But they put it out there anyway because they have to start bringing in income. They have to start reaping off their investments. They have to. So they'll put out a faulty Windows program, Windows 7, Windows XP, or whatever, so they can start reaping from their what they already pumped into it. And then they'll put out a version or hire a team to perfect the system while they're making money. Now you see what just happened there? They took a product or a service that they knew was not perfected yet. They put it out there into the public, so the public can start purchasing it. The public find out that there was problems with it. They had recalls or complaints or whatever. And the company hired a team of people to fix the problems and to perfect the product or service by putting out a revision or putting up an updated model or putting up a new version or whatever to perfect the prior product. The better version goes out to replace the older version. So what they did was they took a product, it wasn't that great, made a killing off of it, and then paid people to perfect it, and then made even more of a killing. This is how you need to think when it comes down to your business. You need to you have to become profitable in your business before you perfect it. There's no reason to try to perfect something before you become profitable. There's no reason. You're not making any money. If you're sitting in your computer 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours a day trying to perfect something before you release it, guess what? That whole 10 hours a day, that whole week of work did not do anything for your family, did not pay any bill, didn't do anything but just waste your time. When you could have put out something that was okay, made some money, sustain it, and then go and pay someone to perfect it. CEOs do not perfect anything. Companies do not perfect anything. The workers they pay is who's perfecting these things. You have to put out a campaign that is somewhat okay, decent. Make sure you don't have any spelling errors. I mean, obviously, make sure you have a grammar, good grammar and all that stuff. But you put out like let's say a video. Let's say you decide you want to do YouTube marketing, and you put out a pretty decent video. Okay. First off, you're learning what works. You need to learn what to say. You need to learn what type of production you have to do, what not to say, what cameras to use. You need to learn all this stuff. Okay? You learn how to monetize. You know how to make money with YouTube. You don't know how to maximize it yet. You just know how to bring in a few dollars. So let's say you put out a YouTube video. You got a halfway decent website. It says pretty decent stuff. You got a decent list that's starting to build. You got okay traffic going to it. So you're starting to become profitable, making about $500 to $1,000 a week. And that's sustained because you've learned what you can get away with, what you need to do to make that money come in, make that money roll in. All right. Now you have to start delegating your dollars to workers, which is step 3. You have to start spending like a CEO. You now got something that's perfect. You got something that's working. You got something that's profitable and it's constantly bringing in income. It can obviously be done better. It can obviously be ramped up. It can obviously be maxed out and maximized and monetized and all that good stuff. But you're not going to be the one to do it. You just focus on one thing, and that's another thing that I need to say. Pick a lane and stick to it, whether it's classified ads, whether it's YouTube, whether it's social media, whether it's media buys, whatever lane you want to pick a lane and stick to that lane and keep moving within that lane. Do not jump back and forth. This is a no-no. Multitasking is bad when it comes down to building a business. Multitasking is bad when you're trying to be a CEO. If you need to multitask, pay someone else to take on a task for you and focus on what you do best. If you're good at YouTube videos, keep doing YouTube videos. If you want to venture out in something else, pay somebody that's already perfected it that's already became a master at it, pay that person to do it. You don't do it. Because now you're taking on too many hats. You only need one hat, and that's CEO hat. That's it. That's it. That's the only hat you need. Okay? So pick a lane. All these videos that I'm putting out, you should go ahead and read through the content, watch the videos, and then sit back for a day and just think about what it is that you truly want to do. Is it classified ads? Is it YouTube? Is it Facebook? Is it media buys? Figure out what you're really interested in and stay in that lane. All right? Stay in that lane before you go on to the next step. Or not next step, but stay in that lane before you start to, spend money on other lanes, which you don't want to be. You don't want to do it yourself. You just want to focus on that one lane. But back to what I was saying. Start getting you got a profitable campaign. You got a sustainable campaign that's constantly bringing in money. Now it's time to perfect that campaign. Again, you're not the one that's going to do it. You're not going to maximize and monetize or anything like that. It's time for you to start spending money like a CEO. The more workers you pay, the more money you will make. If you are putting in about $4,000 or $5,000 a month, you need to take at least $2,500 of that dollars, and start paying people to bring in more revenue. This is how CEOs do it. Okay, I have a campaign that's working on YouTube, or I got a campaign working on Facebook, or I got a campaign that's working on classified ads. All right, now it's decent, it's doing well. I start making some good money. Now I need to go out there and find a ghostwriter to start creating all these ads, creating all these banner ads, creating all these different promotions, all these marketing techniques. I need to find someone that's going to do that. Okay, then I have to find a company that knows how to do that at a very, very decent rate. Now, again, you don't need to be cheap here. You do not need to be cheap here. CEOs love throwing money at stuff. Workers hate throwing money at stuff. I'm going to turtle up. I'm going to keep every dollar I got. I'm going to do the best I can to hold on to my dollars. Time is not money, but money is time. People do not get this right. Name 1 second you can get back off your life. Name one. But the $1,000 you lost last month, you can make that back in immediately if you wanted to. You can always make money. How much time can you get back? There. You now know time will never be money, but money can buy you time. All right? Because if I'm not sitting in front of my computer busting my ass on this daggone on this campaign, and I pay someone to do it, and I can start spending more time with my kids, then guess which one I'm going to take? All right? So start delegating the work to another worker, to another company. Have them look at your website and say, we need to change this, because they're the professionals here. All right, they're the experts. Have them say, we need to start doing this. Have them say, this is something we should do. Have them ramp up your campaign, change the website, rebuild the website, restructure the website, restructure your campaign, build your campaign in a certain way, monetize your campaign in a certain. Let them do that. Now, if it doesn't work, you can go to them and say, you told me this, it didn't work, fix it. Then you go back on a golf course and start hitting your little white ball again. They will go to work because they're not about to lose that income. They're going to go to work for you. And they're going to bust their natural ass because that's what workers do. They do everything that's required to keep their job. They won't go overboard, but they will do exactly what's necessary to keep their job. And if what is necessary is to get that 60% increase that you asked them for, they're going to do that to keep their job. Or you're going to go to another company. They want your business, so they're going to work for it. So if you paid them $2,500 for the month, you expect to get $7,000 from that $2,500. And when you get it, you give them even more money, so they can bring back even more money to you. That's how CEOs spend money. A CEO don't care how it gets done, as long as it gets done. PPC campaigns, there are hundreds and hundreds of companies that will take your PPC campaign and turn it into a monster. Your little $500 or $1,000 you make a month off your daggone campaign, these guys will be making you $5,000, $1,000 to $2,500 a day off your campaign, because they're that freaking good. Your little money you making off of Craigslist and classified ads, you got people that know how to get so many ads out there that stick in job markets and everywhere. And they will get you so much traffic. So much traffic. They will even write the ads for you for a little bit of money. Ramping up your campaign. Pay workers to do the work. Pay them to do this work. This is where we all get it wrong. We're too afraid to put the money out there. We're too afraid. We think, oh my God, if I spend $2,500, I'm not going to get it back. Okay, let's say you spend $2,500 and you only make, let's say you lose the whole lot. You lose everything. All that money. If you did the step 1 and then step 2, then you're not going to worry about step 3. Why? Because you have a profitable, sustainable campaign. So what you lost $2,500 on something that didn't work? Who cares? Next month you're going to have that $4,000 coming right back in. You know how much money CEOs spend and lose on campaigns and products and services and ideas? Do you have any idea how much money they burn off of something? You know that the iPad was created before the iPhone? It was created before the iPhone. But the iPad sat on the shelf for a few years before they put it into the market. They spent all this money on creating this technology, and then they realized that they could turn this into a phone. And that's what they did. Meanwhile, the iPad or the tablet was sitting on the shelf just collecting dust. And they eventually decided to bring it into the market 5 years later. They was losing so much money off that iPad just sitting there. Just sitting there. They lost so much money. Production, materials, everything. And they jumped onto several other things before they even decided to bring the iPad to production. But did they lose any sleep? No. Not a wink. Because all they need was a profitable, sustainable campaign that can pay for their mistakes. You need to start thinking like a CEO. If you pay $1,000 to a company and lose it, who cares? You have a profitable, sustainable campaign. Your campaign is not going to shut down simply because they go to work on another campaign. All right? So focus on one thing, and that's becoming the CEO that you have been designed to be. Okay, now we go to the final step, which is automate and delegate, then retire to other projects. When you automate your system and you just write a check every single month you're writing a check to this company, they're going to keep your production going. They're going to keep your campaign going. They're going to keep your money flowing in because they want that check at the end of the month. So they're going to keep doing it. You have now automated the process and delegated to such a degree where you never have to touch that previous project ever again. You never have to touch it again. You never have to look at it. You just say, hey guys, I see a drop here. Why am I dropping? Hey guys, I see an increase. Great work. Here's more money. Whatever. All you got to do is just say what's going on. You got to spend maybe, I don't know, an hour, 2 hours talking about it to your team, and then they'll get to work to what you want. Now it frees you up to do what? Start another project. Create another campaign. Build another company. It frees you up to do that stuff. Start thinking like a CEO. Get a CEO mindset, guys. Get a CEO mindset. You are not a worker, but the CEO of your company. If you run your company as a CEO, you will reap the benefits of a CEO. Everything I'm going to teach you today, or in this course, is going to really benefit you financially. But nothing's going to benefit you more than this video here. Because anything you do, whether it's software, products, services, whatever you do, from this point on, you have to think like a CEO. Have to. That's why CEOs can do the things that you can't. Because the 40-hour week load that you give them every week, they paid you so they won't have to do it. CEOs make money when they pay workers. Workers make money when they work. This is Gary Lamb signing off. I hope this helped you. I hope this put you guys in a different mindset. I hope you deprogrammed yourself. I hope you to take action in acting like a CEO. Start making money and spending money like a CEO. Automate and delegate the work of your current campaign. Turn it into an empire and retire to another project.